welcome to
Knit 1, Heart 2, episode 245.
.1. No.
.1? Well,
I'm just thinking of your recording thing.
I made a mistake when I started the software to record.
I'm just teasing.
So
I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37.
And I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Winnie. If you're a new viewer, welcome to the show. I'm hoping that this week's video will be clearer because we are recording on my new laptop, which is much sharper.
And kind of scarier.
Yeah. And if you're a return viewer, I'm sorry if you're frightened by the way that we look now. We look different on my new... I have a laptop with Retina display, and we look very... I can see every age spot. It's like,
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. That's why, I don't post selfies, because when I see the selfies,
yeah,
I swear to God, it's one of those cameras that shows you what the sun damage has done to you. That's what it looks like on my end.
Well, that's what this looks like, too. It's very
but not...
frightening.
Yeah, because I can see all my freckles and...
Yeah, it's very high definition.
I'll be watching some of those makeup videos.
I won't. No, I would rather look like a hag than have to put makeup on. I hate makeup. Sorry, makeup fans. Not a makeup fan here. All right. So, first of all, we have a contest going on. You can win Masterpiece knits from Dragonfly Fibers by joining a contest in our Ravelry thread and telling me which pattern you would knit. Then we're going to draw a winner next week. So, don't forget about that, and don't forget about our knit-alongs. We have two.
We have the variegated yarn knit-along, crochet-along, where a good 50% or more of the project needs to be in variegated yarn, which is 2 or more different colors, right?
Like very different colors, not like
this. At first I thought this was variegated, but I'm calling it striping now.
I think it's more striping.
Yeah, that's not variegated.
This is not variegated.
This is not variegated.
Even though there's 2 shades of this red, this is not variegated.
Tonal, right?
Yes. This is variegated.
Yeah, I don't have anything variegated on
This is variegated.
Oh, yeah.
So, but people seem to be getting it, so.
Yeah, no, we haven't had any issues, really.
Sorry, my son's cleaning his room, I hope, and he's going to make some noise.
It's not the skirt that she... So also...
a skirt.
Okay. Also, we have the Blue Moon Fiber knit along or crochet along. Anyone who wants to crochet or spin along. Blue Moon Fibers along. There we go. Anything Blue Moon Fibers, post in that thread a finished anything. I'll only count finished projects on it though, and it's a chat thread. I've been able to because it's very.
Did you figure out how to whoosh? Because I never.
No, I haven't figured out how to whoosh.
I'll try to figure it out. I forgot about it.
But that was for the variegated.
Right.
The Blue Moon, it's an everything thread. Talk, chat, whatever you want to do, because it's such a particular knit along, crochet along, that I'm not worried about it too much. So, not next week, but the week after, 2 more weeks, we'll draw March's winner. So we're doing it throughout the whole year. I draw a winner, if you're new, I draw a winner every month for a pattern of your choice. And this month's pattern is sponsored by Pat Looney Hiker, a friend of ours. So when whoever wins will let Pat get in touch with you.
Cool.
And we also have, and I should carry one all the same, needle holder.
Oh yeah, from
every month.
Vintage Fair.
Yes. So join along. It's fun. Once you start knitting with Blue Moon, you'll love it. Like I do. I can't wait to cast on my next pair of Blue Moon socks. Or whatever. Also, one other thing. Quick, I'll try and keep it quick. It's not so quick. I've got a couple of people ask me about... Okay. I've got a couple of... No. I've had a few people ask me about the cotton yarn that I've used to knit cotton socks when I was talking about trying to wear my socks all year round.
Yeah.
And I looked up the sock yarn that I am using or have used is all discontinued because it's from Deep Stash.
Yeah.
But
Cicada, do they not make Cicada?
They don't make Cicada anymore.
I did not know that.
It's been discontinued. I don't know how long, but I want to, anyone who is interested in that, Cicada is a 45% cotton, 40% wool. and 50% nylon blend, and they have a whole bunch. I can't tell you enough. If you're interested in it, go to the D-Stash.
Yeah, don't be afraid of D-Stash. If you handle everything by PayPal, you're protected.
Yeah.
Just don't let them convince you to do it as a friend or family payment. Make sure you do it as a goods or service.
Okay.
You're not supposed to do it as a personal payment when you're buying something from somebody, and you get buying protections if you do it as a good or a service. So
didn't know that.
My tip for you.
Some of the opal cotton is also discontinued. The one that I'm knitting, is discontinued. The
color,
not the color, the
base.
Yeah, opal cotton. It's called. They do have an opal cotton stretch. I've also used online. That's discontinued. Apparently, people don't like using cotton blends. The one thing I can say, Cascade Fixation, which is mostly cotton with a little bit of elastic, is not discontinued. That is also a DK weight. You would use a larger needle. I've knit with that. That's kind of fun to knit with. One of my other favorite ones I liked was Knit One Crochet, the Socks Appeal.
Oh, yeah.
That was a wool cotton blend with some stretch. I think it was a wool cotton blend. The one that I'm wearing now that your mom knit for me, Classic Elite Summer Sock.
Oh, summer sock.
That was really good. 40% merino, 40% cotton, and 20% other stuff. That's also discontinued.
I have a couple of pairs that my mom made me out of that.
But again, go to the D-Stash page because a lot of people are trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, and you can get it cheap, even though it's discontinued.
So unfortunately, a lot of the stuff is discontinued, but I also, if you look under, Ravelry has yarns, and you can do it by blends.
Right.
And then you can do, by weight.
Yeah, so do it by cotton blend and weight and see what you get.
Cotton and wool, because you can do it either separate, cotton, or you can do it as combined.
Cool.
Ravelry is a great resource. Hopefully you're on it, because really it's
Because I find that a lot of times when a company discontinues a base, they introduce something similar to replace it. So...
Yeah, I'm having a hard time finding that something similar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did some research today, and
maybe
not
people
too many
just
places
don't like it.
Not too many places are doing the cotton wool blend. I think it's either all cotton or all wool. I found a lot of cotton stretch.
Oh, yeah.
But I wasn't interested in that. So just throwing it out there. And if you have any other questions, contact me. I'll keep my little list. I'll be more than happy to help anyone who needs it. Because I enjoy the socks. Knitting socks. Well, you know that. But that's all I have to say.
You're going first this week.
Would you like me to continue?
Yeah, so you have more to say. Keep saying.
So on the dance card, I am knitting a baby hat for a coworker. She does not know the gender, and they're not going to find out, which I think is great, because nowadays a lot of people do. And they have those gender parties. Yeah, with the cakes.
Reveals, yeah.
Something like that. So she's excited about not finding out. So I'm doing it's called Super Stretchy Baby Hat. And it's done in fingeringly, which I am doing Plymouth Yarn Happy Feet. This is deep stash from when Fabric Place was still open.
In Woburn, and then it closed. That was 2008 or 2009.
I don't know what they sell this for. Dizzy Sheep, by the way, was having a big sock yarn thing this past week, and every hour they were changing their sock yarn. You can usually get good deals there, and they had Happy Feet on, but they had the speckled.
Oh, yeah.
So this is fingering weight, so I'm doing it in red. I figure red is a nice gender-neutral color you can wear for a boy or girl.
Yeah.
Without worrying about gender, like when they have it on. My kids, even dressed in blue, were asked, "Oh, she's so pretty." I'm like, "Do you not see the blue?" This is going to be red, and I'm going to make matching socks.
Oh, that'll be cute.
Yeah. So I think I told you the name, but I didn't.
You said it was Super Stretchy Baby Hat.
Super Stretchy Baby Hat by Julie Tarsha. And it's done on size 3, which gets me a little worried that it's going to be thin, but you do the ribbing so that you can fold it up.
Right.
Yeah, fold it up, right?
It'll be fine.
Yeah. And I think it's supposed to stretch to like 6 months or something like that. I don't know. Just something mindless to do.
And it's a nice little gift.
Well, it's going to be quick, too. That's always a plus.
Yeah.
You like quick.
Quick is fun.
So that is all I actually have currently on the needles.
Well, I only have this on the needles. This is my Indigo Frost poncho. And no, I have not ripped it out yet. I will be ripping it out today, but I thought I was going to finish my other project sooner, and I just finished it right now. So, but yeah, I got to rip back like 4 rows on this to fix the problem that I did with the eyelets. And I have a funny story about this. Well, first of all, this is Indigo Frost poncho, and it's in Dream and Color Classy in the In Vino Veritas colorway, and it has slip stitch color work, and then the body has these eyelet holes kind of in a pattern. So I'm at karate the other day, and my son's karate instructor is a knitter.
Oh, okay.
And she is trying to knit Martha Stewart's prison poncho.
Oh, yeah. I remember
so
that.
Apparently,
I remember that.
In prison, she crocheted a poncho.
Yeah.
And somebody made a knitted version of it. And she was like, that would be a cute thing to make. So she's trying to make it.
Is she an advanced knitter?
She's been knitting since she was 8.
Okay.
But she is a pattern follower by her own admission. So she says to me, "You're a knitter. I have a question for you." She said, "When you do yarn over on one row and then come back on the reverse side and knit in the front and the back, that increases the yarn over, doesn't it?" And I was like, "Yeah, by 2 stitches."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Somehow this pattern is saying that it doesn't increase it."
But could it be that she's supposed to knit through the back loop? Because yarn overs, if you knit through the back loop, you don't get the actual yarn over.
That may be what it is, but what the pattern says is it says knit through the front and the back. That's what the pattern says. Apparently, I didn't see the pattern.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe
but that's
she's
what
reading it wrong.
That's what we were figuring. She's like, "Okay, I thought it was crazy." She's like, "I'm just, knitting, doing a yarn over, knit 2 together." She likes the way the yarn overs look. It's holes, and I was like, "Are you doing Indigo Frost? Because that's what I'm doing." And she's like, "No, this is Martha Stewart's poncho," and I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah, yarn overs can look really.
She
nice.
She likes the look of the yarn over, so she's gonna. And I said, "Then just do on the row that you do the yarn over, just do your yarn over, knit 2 together." And then don't even mess with it on the back side.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's what she's been doing. But she was just curious. She's like, I've been ripping it out and doing it a million times. And she's like, I know that it's 2 stitches. And so I got out my sock and I was like, well, let me just do it. So I'm like, yeah, it has to be 2 stitches. She's like, I was trying to knit through. She was doing all this crazy stuff. But I bet you that's what they intended to write, knit through the back loop. And they just didn't write it wrong. They just didn't write it wrong. They just didn't do it right.
Didn't write it right.
They wrote it wrong.
Either that or but she's a good she's been knitting, so it's not like she's reading it wrong.
It definitely says knit in the front and the back loop.
Huh.
So this is what she reports to me. I did not actually see the pattern, and there are several versions of it, so I don't know which one it is. But it's called Martha's Coming Home thing, or what is happening here?
I think he's what?
Oh, that's right. I had tried to fix something. I'm like, why is this and here, but my knitting is here? So anyway, that was a weird story. But I was like, it's so funny because I am actually knitting a poncho right now that has eyelet holes in it. And I showed you briefly my Cash cowl. I'm not going to show it again because I didn't work on it this week. So just the Indigo Frost on the needles right now.
Okay, rate a date. I have a date to rate. I finished Zachary's socks. This was out of the Opal that we were talking about. I do have the label here somewhere. I just threw it in here with a bunch of paperwork today. Opal cotton. That's all it says. Yes. This particular one, I believe, is discontinued. But again, go to Ravelry D-Stash. There was no fancy color name to it. I called it sherbet because that's what it reminds me of when I see it.
It does look like sherbet.
It does. It looks like sherbet. I did not try and match the stripes. It just kind of looks like it did it on its own. At least the red part of it did. Yeah. Until you get to the bottom. These are size, maybe 9s. I don't know.
Boys 9s?
No, not boys 9s. Women's 9s. I made them a little longer, hoping that, he'll get to wear them. And if not, hey, I get another pair of socks.
That's right. Win-win.
So this was a vanilla cuff down, just from learning my lessons with knitting socks for my boys. I just think for them, maybe a better way of saying it is if you're going to knit a gift sock and you don't know, my personal opinion, and you don't know the wearer very well, like you don't know how their feet are, it would be best to do cuff down.
Probably.
Just to be on the safe side. But if you know their feet really well and you've knit them before and you know that they'll fit into, regular fishnets, then have at it.
Yeah.
Because it is a little bit quicker. But I don't know. I enjoy doing the heel flap. It's like something different. I don't know. Throwing a little difference in your sock in the middle of the pattern. You got a ducky in there.
Where did this come from? I think my kids wanted at laser time.
Cute. So that.
Oh, laser cruise. Take the duck.
There you go.
It's my sister's.
Oh, so this is all that I have done. He'll be very excited.
Well, I finally finished my socks right when this was happening. So here's the Jeck socks in, what's it called? I was going to say Susan B.
Lucky
Anthony.
Cat.
Fiber New Dyeworks. What the heck? That's Susan B. Anthony. Isn't that like $1? That's like that activist lady. I don't even know what I was thinking.
Susan B. Anthony, yeah.
It's like a combination of Susan Anderson and
Susan B. Anderson and Susan B.
Anthony. Whatever.
No, it's Susan B. Anthony.
Isn't it? Okay, this is, neither one of those people has anything to do with this, because this is Fiber Nymph Dyeworks in the Lucky Cat colorway on her bounce base, which is one of my favorite sock bases. And these are done, son, and I am so glad that they are.
Those probably have to be one of the longest pairs that it took you to
knit, in a long time. Things. I just haven't had much knitting mojo, but these are done. So now I can start my other design that I want to do, and I think that'll go much faster because I'm kind of excited about it.
Oh, good.
So yeah, Jeck socks off the needles. I had a ton of yarn left.
Yeah, you do. Good.
So I'll put that in the sock blanket stash, and I think that's it for Rate Your Dates.
Yeah. Oh. Whirlwind Romance. No. Nothing.
Future dates.
I got some plans on something I haven't figured out quite yet what to do. Keeping it quiet until I actually motivate. I did, however, rip out my Edison.
You did? Why?
I just wasn't feeling it.
Well.
And it was quite a bit, that I admit.
I know. I can't believe you didn't just finish it.
I was looking at it and it was just...
And you were like, I don't even want to?
No.
Well.
No, because you know what it was? I was trying to substitute the color affection and I just should have stuck with the color affection because that's what I like the look of.
Yeah.
But not a big deal. It will be used for something else. I have plenty of ideas for shawls. At some point, I'm not there yet. Not in a shawl mood. So just socks for now and baby hats.
Socks and baby hats. Oh, I am going to knit a new design in this sock yarn, which is Catatonic Stripes from Diabolical Yarn. And this is her watercolor stripe. So it's, you can see it's like kettle dyed stripes. It's going to be so pretty knit up, and I'm really excited that I have an idea in my head, and I hope it works. So
can't wait to see how that knits up.
I think it'll be cute.
Oh, it's going to be gorgeous. I like the colors.
Yeah, I do too. I love this color.
Oh.
So I want to get like a sweater's worth of this colorway. I might do that someday. Stripes. This is her Targhee base. It is 90% superwash Targhee and 10% nylon. So that's a good base, and it's very cushy.
Squishy.
Yeah. Diabolical Yarns. All right. So that's next on the needle, and I'm actually going to put it into my bag right now, just so it's with the needles, so I can.
You're going to change the bag though, right?
Oh yeah, that bag doesn't go.
I was just going to say that doesn't go.
I had this Christmas. Well, this is more like a winter bag because I started these other socks in the winter, and now I got to totally do something different. So anyway, that's it for future dates.
Oh, excuse me.
Baubles and Bling. Sheila forgot her
I
Baubles
forgot
and
my
Bling.
Baubles and Bling.
Her Baubles and Bling. But I have Baubles and Bling. I actually went on the Knit North yarn crawl with our friend Diane to meet up with our friend Jess, who is known as Stitched by Jessalu, because she was doing her trunk show. And she actually did a really good trunk show. She did really well, and she sold a lot of stuff. There's a story behind this. So I got this gradient kit. But there's a story behind this. In October, our friend Denise came into town, and she and I stopped at a yarn store in Freeport.
Okay.
And saw some gradient kits by this woman who does Wonderland Yarns. And this is the Cheshire Cat colorway.
I like the colors.
And I almost bought one of the gradient sets. They had a bunch of different ones. And then I was like, oh, I don't really need it. It's just really pretty. I just think it's pretty. And so when we started going on the crawl, the first store that we went to had this Wonderland. They had a bunch of Wonderland yarns there. And they had some gradient kits. And I looked at them and I was like, just so you know, they cost about $35, so it's expensive.
Can I see that for a second? Oh.
But it is.
I was gonna say, what's the?
I thought the yardage was on it. I guess it's not.
128 yards per 1 ounce skein.
So there we go.
Skeins.
There's 640 yards, so that's a good price for its fingering weight.
Not bad.
And it's superwash.
Is it just wool?
Yeah, superwash merino.
Okay.
So, I didn't get it because I was like, I am on a yarn diet. I didn't want to get it. And then we went to the next place and they had it again, and they had this dormouse one, which I just like gray. So I was like, oh, I really like that. Make a pretty like scarf. Like I want to do some kind of like a shawl, shawlette that I think it would be really pretty. And I was like, oh, I really want to get this. And Diane said, and she's right, you should just buy it then, because this is the second store. I didn't even know what it was. I immediately gravitated towards it and pulled it out, and I was like, oh, it's that same yarn. She's like, you should just buy it, because if you don't,
you're going to kick yourself in the toe.
The next store won't have it. So I was like, I toyed with it, and then I was like, yeah, I'm going to get it, and I'll, put it in the stash, but it's just really pretty. It's 5 different colors. And it's kind of a warm brown, so it's like a warmer brown. It's like a yellowy brown. It's pretty. My son is just spread-eagled on the floor. Are you all right?
Now this is where your color sense. I see gray. I don't see brown. I see gray.
Well, it's gray, but it's like a yellowy brown gray. It's like a brownish gray.
If you say
it's
so.
Not brown. Brown is wrong. This is gray.
Okay.
It's not brown.
That's what I'm looking at. I'm like, what?
I'm just mentally ill. No, it is a brownish, yellowish gray. It's a warm gray. It's not a cool gray. Can I help you with something? Okay, can you please leave me alone?
I thought I was going crazy when you
No,
said
I'm sorry. I'm not paying attention. So anyway, I bought it. That was the upshot of the story. Is this was my one thing that I bought on the yarn crawl was this. Well, that's not true. This is the one yarn I bought on the yarn crawl. But I also picked up a few more Notions pouches when I met up with Jess, as I tend to do. I love
those
them.
are a little out of your norm, I think.
Well, I thought they would be fun. This has Easter bunnies on the inside and flowers on the outside. She threw in an extra one for me because I couldn't decide whether I wanted the bunnies on the inside or the outside. So she was like, just take it.
I like the color of the zipper.
Yeah, I do too. I like how she does different colored zippers. So these are 2 Easter springy ones. This one is a cartoon one. And on the inside it has all the cartoon words.
Cool.
And then this one is a fox, and one of them has a little red sweater on it. And it's multicolors on the inside. I like looking on the inside. That's always my favorite part. And this one is little beach houses, like little boat houses. And then on the inside, it is crabs and seashells. And I specifically bought this because I have a crab bag. So I'm like, this is going in the crab bag.
There you go. Those are nice. I like those.
Yep, I'm very happy with them. It was good to see Jess. I haven't seen her since Rhinebeck.
I know, it's been a while.
She lives pretty far away, so it was good to catch up with her. But Diane and I ended up going, I think, to 5 stores on the yarn
Did you get
crawl.
your passports and everything?
We did, but we didn't. In order to get the big prize, you had to go to at least 6 stores, and we just weren't that enthused.
There was one that was I thought you had to go to 3, but maybe
there was an early.
okay.
There's a smaller prize where you only needed 3, so we
okay.
qualified for that, but we didn't win anything.
Oh.
But we ended up. We went to Marblehead, Salem, Essex, and Beverly. I think those were the places that we went.
Nice.
So it was kind of nice. And the fun part about the trip was that we met each other up. Oh, and we went to the one in my town. So that was the other one. So we met each other up at my house, and then I drove, and we went to the one in my town because it's like 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
And then we went on Route 1 to get pho, or pho.
Pho. We pronounce it.
Is
it PHO?
It's PHO, but it's really pronounced, it's supposed to be pronounced pho, but we call it pho. Anyway, just in case anybody was wondering.
My husband calls it pho.
The language that it's in it's
Vietnamese.
It's supposed to be pho. It's more like pho, but we call it pho.
Yeah.
So we had pho because we love it, and we had those little cabbage wrapped spring rolls that are so good. I had the seafood.
Cabbage or rice?
This is wrapped in like a leaf.
Oh, okay.
It was really good, and it had. We also had. I had seafood. That's my favorite. Actually, no, I got just shrimp, and it was shrimp and baby corn and carrots
and the soup.
Yes, it was so good, and the noodles and everything.
Oh yeah.
And then Diane got the beef one, and hers was really. And she forgot to ask for veg, so they had to bring it later. But the seafood one just automatically comes with veg. It was really delicious. So we had that delicious lunch, and we each had like a big portion of the broth left, so we brought it away with us. And then we went to an ice cream place in Beverly Farms, across from one of the yarn stores up there, and we each had ice cream. Well, I had soft serve because I can't really eat regular ice cream. And then we ended up going out to dinner with Jess and her husband, and we ate at Finn's in Salem. I don't know if you've ever eaten there. It's a really good seafood restaurant, and I had fish tacos there that were so good.
Sounds good.
So it was like a good day of like eating. And I feel like the ice cream wasn't a great choice, but I ate a lot of like vegetable and seafood during that day. It wasn't, it's restaurant food, so it's never going to be as good as
homemade, right.
But I felt like, for a day when I was just eating free range and not really watching anything, I felt like I kept it in check.
Good.
But it was a very good day, and we had a nice time, and I didn't buy anything except for that one thing that I've been thinking about since October, so that's okay.
I know, I was really tempted to go out, but I really was. So what happened for me, a side note, was my husband took my kids down to a birthday party and met with his sister first, because the party and his sister are all in the same town area. And he let me have the night out off, I should say is a better way. I got home from work because I had to work. And I'm like, I really wanted to go, but I'm like, if he found out that I went out with you guys, I think he really would have killed me. He would have killed me. So I stayed in, but I still enjoyed my night in my jammies and everything. But I really didn't want to go.
This has 3 names that could possibly be the colorway name. Cheshire Cat.
Right.
That must be the base.
Okay. Because I was wondering
down the rabbit hole. And then Dormouse, number 20. I think this has got to be Dormouse, because Dormouse is our brownish gray. So
when you were first saying that, and you said Dormouse, I'm like, what?
Well, yeah, I think Cheshire Cat must be the base, but I don't know. I'm writing it all down, and I'll figure it out and put it in the show notes. I just realized that when I was doing the show notes.
You know who has some nice gradients that someday I'd like to? Steve Dramatic Notes.
Oh, I saw he's been doing some gradient kits.
Oh, he's got some really nice gradients that I would love to get at some point, someday.
So that's it for Baubles and Bling.
Yeah.
Crushes and Heartbreak.
Crushes and Heartbreaks. Okay. Our crush/heartbreak. Zachary and I had an appointment on Tuesday for consult for his cochlear implant. And they tested him more in depth about how his right ear is processing speech, I guess is a good way of saying it. So the last time we were there, they said it was down by like 48% or something, and he's only recognizing 48%. It's down by 32 on his right ear.
Oh.
So he is a candidate for cochlear implant. I'm like, oh, good.
Will that make him hear better?
It would make him hear better. Yes, because that was so we were there for over 2 hours, just him and I. And they had the audiologist person, and then they had a psychologist. Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure why they had that, but I am so glad they did, because she helped us. She took notes, for one thing, which was great. And she helped us explain to Zachary. So first, let me just say, we were talking about it, and he was interested in it and all that. And then the psychologist is like, are you wondering how they get that in there? And he's like, yeah. She mentioned surgery.
And he was like, no.
He broke down.
The poor thing.
So, of course, he breaks down, I break down, and I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about it. He's like, I don't want another surgery, and he's crying.
Does he know it won't be the same as when he has liver?
That's what took us 2 hours. So he's crying, I'm crying, and they're really nice. The thing about this place, and this is what I like about Children's, and I know certain people don't like Children's, and that's fine.
Which Children's did you go to?
We went to Waltham.
Waltham. Oh.
To each their own. Obviously, I owe Children's a lot because they've saved my son's life several times. But they were very nice, and so the psychologist explained to us, well, to him really, because I know what was going on, about urgent surgery, recommended surgery, and elective surgery.
Right.
So we went through all of that, and we explained to him that his belly was urgent surgery. There was really no options about it. And I can wrap.
Well, that's okay. I'll do it.
So then we explained that his surgery was recommended, but it's also elective, that if he chooses not to have it, he doesn't have to have it.
Right.
So we asked him, it's kind of funny, because we asked him, do you understand that? And he goes, yeah, if I say no, I'm still going to get it. And we're like, no, if you say no, then it's no. So I said to him, listen, we're not making any decisions. We're not saying that, we're not having surgery tonight or tomorrow. Let's get information first, okay? So we started getting information. So then we got him to understand that the surgery was just an overnighter.
And not like weeks.
Not 3 weeks.
Was so hard.
That's what he
thinks surgery is.
Right. He thinks it's weeks and weeks at the hospital. And I said to him, you can eat. Because he couldn't eat for over a week.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're just getting information, and we're trying to explain to him how. So with the cochlear implant, his right ear would get to the level his left ear is without the hearing aid.
Wow.
So unfortunately, and this is where I keep yelling at my husband doesn't know enough about what's going on. And I keep trying to tell him, you have to come, you have to come, you have to come. The hearing aid only amplifies, really.
Right.
It doesn't, the cochlear implant goes into your cochlear and sends signals directly to the cochlear, which then sends to the brain.
Right. So it's like not amplifying.
It's a computer processor, basically.
But it's kind of mimicking the operation that would happen if your ear was normal, more than just
more
amplifying.
so, but it's very tinny. So,
right. It's not,
and I didn't know half of this information either. So basically, when you get the cochlear, it's not a quick fix.
No.
You have to actually teach your brain how to listen with that implement. he was getting excited about it. Towards the end, he ended up saying that he would be willing to do this. I now have to talk to my husband more about it because it is scary. It's under anesthesia. There's a very high possibility that they will damage the hearing that he already has in that ear.
Yeah.
He's got very good what they call low range or low frequency range, and when you do that, you damage. That's pretty much gone. There's a possibility that it may not be, but it also would be that we, no more MRIs because it's a magnet.
Yeah.
So if anyone's not familiar with cochlear implant, they insert something, and we had to explain to him how it goes behind his ear, and he was afraid he was going to have his head shaved.
Oh.
And we're like, no, it wouldn't. And so we had to explain all that to him. And then they insert a little, basically, computer processor or receiver in your head, like here, and the implement device is magnetized through your skin. It's kind of creepy, but...
Yeah, but cool.
It is. It's creepy and cool. And then you have what looks like a hearing aid over your ear, but there's nothing that actually goes into the ear like his hearing aids now.
Right.
And there's devices that you could swim with, which is nice because he swims without his hearing aids now, where there's a loud environment in the swimming pool. He misses a lot.
Right, and this would be...
It would be better. So I have to... We got all the information on Tuesday. Apparently there's 3 suppliers that we'd have to choose based on, what there's possibilities of. Now we've kind of just let it sit there. Because my husband, we had this conversation on the phone, and he's like, let's wait. The problem is the more you... It is better to get him fitted with this now than when you're older.
Right.
And I'm trying to explain that to my husband. It is elective, and I'm not jumping right into this because it's a whole long process. It's kind of like what you're going through.
Right, you have to go through.
You got to throw...
Because there's an emotional component to this, too, I know. I saw a there's a really good documentary on getting
It is, but those
implant.
are more for people who've never heard sound.
But so I still think it's probably...
It may
some
be
of
different.
The same emotions.
So... there's a couple of things that I have to go through the school because his IEP would have to change.
Yeah.
Right now he's getting one speech outside the classroom with other kids and one in the classroom. Afterwards, they highly recommend 2 outside the classroom by himself.
Yeah.
So that would have to be a fight. I just got to talk to Cam, and we have to sit down and figure out what's best for him in the long run. It's life-changing.
Yeah.
Good or bad. It's life-changing for him. And it is another surgery, but it's, he'd be home the next day. And I was trying to explain that to him because I said to him, if we have surgery today, no! I'm like, Zachary, there's a big if. But one of the concerns that even the psychologist said, she goes, he doesn't understand a lot of words that he should. I said, I know. I know that. I'm quite aware of that. I think we also come to realize that there's other things going on. And it was a very tough appointment at first, and it got better because, of course, there's color changes. You could do all sorts of colors, and that intrigued him. Oh, absolutely. But what also intrigued him is being able to hear his friends a little bit better.
Yeah, swimming and hearing people better.
Just hearing better. And I have to say the child psychologist wrote out some really nice notes for us. And, it's tough because she goes... It was kind of funny because they said, the technology, whenever they get new technology, like you got a new computer, they would upgrade the outer portion.
Yeah.
They couldn't guarantee me that the inner portion wouldn't have to be replaced. I said, I understand that. She goes, there could be 10 years down the road that you would need an upgrade. And I made a joke because what Zachary has gone through, I can kind of make light of the situation. Yeah. We've already been through hell and back with him.
Yeah.
So that I said, we've already gone through an upgrade with him.
Couple of times.
Yeah. So, his heart was one, then, his liver was another, and then a second liver. I said, we've already gone through upgrades. She goes, Point taken. So I think if it was someone else who this is all new to them, it would definitely be heart-wrenching.
Well,
it is, but...
The other thing that's good about it, and it's sad to say this, is that he can tolerate surgery. So there's not a concern if your kid's never had surgery before that you would have on top of everything else. Because it tolerates surgery. So that's good too. Like, you have that knowledge.
Right. And again, I mean, the fact that he now knows it wouldn't be 3 weeks.
I think that, because when you said he freaked out, I was like, I bet he thinks he's going to have to live in the hospital again.
Because that's basically what he did.
That's all his memories of surgery are living in the hospital.
That was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So, speaking of which, oh my gosh, 10 years ago, 11 years ago? 11 years ago he was diagnosed.
Yeah?
This month.
Wow.
Like, right now. We were going through hell. Not that we don't every day with him, but that's beside the point. So that's in the future. My husband goes, well, of course he wants it because he's going to miss school. I said, Cam, the most he's going to miss school is like 3 days, 3 to 4 days, depending on when we get the surgery. I said, the thing is what Zachary has to understand, and we tried telling him, this is a big commitment on his point. We have to, this is not like playing the flute. This is like 10 times playing the flute, practicing.
Yeah.
And, they made an example, like pick a song, say, just for an example, the Pledge of Allegiance, she said, where he knows what it sounds like now. It's going to sound different to him then, but he knows what to strive for.
Right.
So it's like I said, we haven't decided one way or the other. I'm sure at some point we'll do this. The question is when. But it's a commitment on my point, too, because there's a lot of appointments involved in this.
Right.
So then I have to kind of go to work and say, all right, we already have a Family Leave Act on him, different reason, but does that all include, or do I need a different...
you need to update it, yeah. But it should be covered under FMLA because this is exactly why they have FMLA.
Oh, it would definitely be covered, but do I need another note for...
You might.
For this reason, which I might, and I know, again, Children's is great. They would easily give me another note. But if most of the appointments
at Children's,
if most of the appointments are in the afternoon, then it's kind of like it wouldn't even make a difference. But
yeah, if you can arrange that, and they have a pretty wide range of appointment times.
Oh yeah, well, this appointment we went to happened to be 1:00, just because they threw it out there and I grabbed it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because the first. So we have this, if he has a surgery, we wouldn't see them for like 3 weeks. The device wouldn't even be on because it's healing.
Right.
And then we'd see him like a couple of weeks afterwards, and then it's like every month for a little bit, and then it's every couple of months. It's a staggering step. The sad part somewhat is that we would no longer be seeing his audiologist at Lexington, which she's been great with us. But... Again, it's Children's. The other thing is this device, the cochlear, would be through Children's Hospital, where his hearing aid would still be with where we go in Winchester, because that's the whole. I'm like, ugh. And again, the lifestyle change. This is different. This would be something he has. I mean, hearing aids is always something he's going to have anyways. But this is, you've seen it. People who've seen it, you've seen it. It's a little device that. It's a little circle about this big that magnetizes.
Sticks to your head.
Granted, you wouldn't see it because of his hair, but again, any person he meets, or a future spouse or whatever, this is what they're going to do. You know what I mean? It's tough. It's a tough thing to think about. But again,
if you can make his hearing better.
Oh my gosh. Not so much his hearing, but if I could help him understand things
exactly, because I feel like he misses a lot.
But see, I don't know if, like, when she said that he doesn't understand those words, is it because of the hearing loss, or is it because there's something else?
Well,
which we may never know. Do you know what I mean? He's a smart kid, so I know it's not that.
I do know when I talk to him sometimes, I get the sense, and it depends on the level of noise around us, I get the sense that he's missing like every third word.
Well, and I try and explain to Cam. So what happens is he's listening, he's taking it in and processing, and like you said, by the time he figures it out, they're already down.
Some other stuff has gone by that he didn't get. And that's how I feel.
And, well, that's exactly what his audiologist at Lexington said is happening. So if we can help prevent this less.
So that maybe he's missing every, like, 8th word instead of every 3rd word.
Exactly. So it's kind of like we got to face the white elephant in the room. And where I was working pretty much all week, maybe Sunday we can probably talk and sit down.
Yeah.
And, I said to Zachary, we need to have a family meeting. And he goes, Max too? I said, yeah, Max is involved too, because this is going to affect him as much because I got to take him to appointments. And, so it's a family thing. It's, I guess what makes it harder is because it is an elective or recommended and it's not urgent. Like the liver issue, there was no question we did it.
Right. And this is a good idea, but it has issues that you have to be concerned about. So it's a big decision.
It is. It's going to be interesting. Long process. So, yeah. That's where we are. That's my whole rant and rave, or whatever you want to call it. I just broke my heart when he started crying. Oh my God.
But as soon as you said that, I thought he thinks he's going to have to live at the hospital again. That's what he thinks, because that's his only experience of surgery, is living at the hospital.
Exactly, because that was he was 10 when that happened. Right. He had tonsil surgery, which was a day, not even, it was hours, but he was too little for that. Right. So, yeah.
And I just thought, oh my gosh, not again. So my crushes and heartbreaks, my crush is that it was good that we got to meet up with my friend Jess, because I don't get to see her very often. And so that was fun. And we spent a few hours together. And it was fun going on the Knit North Yarn Crawl. A lot of the stores that we went to are new.
Oh, really?
A lot of stores have closed, which is a sad thing.
Which doesn't surprise me in a way, because everything has gone by
online.
Well, because it's cheaper. You can get some good deals.
So it was nice to check out some new yarn stores. There are a couple that I would probably go back to again. I liked the place in Manchester where I bought that yarn. It was really nice.
What's that, Manchester by the Sea?
Yeah, it's called
Marblehead
Knits. I guess it was in Marblehead.
Oh.
Marblehead Knits. Marblehead, Manchester. They're all the same. So they're actually not all the same. No. But anyway, I would go there again. That was a really nice store. And there were just a couple of stores that were just really new and different. So that was a crush. My other crush is that I told you last week I have a new diet plan from my nutritionist, and I have been working really hard to accommodate it. Like before, I was just dieting, and now she wants me to do specific things. And so I have to eat at specific times during the day, which I do the best that I can, but it's hard for me. Like this morning, I overslept, so I missed my breakfast and my snack slot. So those are gone. I can't go back. So I just had to move forward with my lunch. That happens sometimes. Also, she said the plan is to eat at 7 a.m., 10:30 a.m., 1:30 p.m., 4:30 p.m., and 7:30 p.m. That is the plan.
Wow.
She said that if I'm not hungry, I can skip one of the snacks. And it depends. Some days I am not hungry at 10:30, and some days I am not hungry at 4:30. But I hardly ever make all 5 of those meals, because that's a lot of food. It's way more than I was eating before.
But we already figured a couple of years ago that was your problem.
I don't eat enough. Which she was like, yeah, you need to eat. And I'm not eating enough of the right things too. So, and I focus on proteins and vegetables, and it's a really big focus on vegetables, and I can have fruit. She told me I can eat as much fruit as I want.
Oh, good.
And as much vegetables as I want. She's like, if you want to eat a pound of carrots, then you eat a pound of carrots. I'm like, okay. And I try to keep my protein within 40 grams, which is pretty reasonable.
Really?
For me, yeah. I was doing 60 on my other plan. So I hover beteen 40 and 60.
Mine wants me to do more than 90.
There's no way I could eat that much protein.
It's hard to eat that much protein.
I struggled getting 60. 40, I was like, yes.
Yeah, mine wants me to eat more than 90 grams of protein a day.
Whoa. So, yeah. I eat protein. I eat 2 servings of protein, one at breakfast, one at lunch, and I eat half a serving of protein with dinner. And I can get my protein any way I want, but she would prefer it if I got it from non-animal sources. So not eggs, not meats. I can eat those things. She's like, it's okay to eat those things, but try to start learning how to get protein from beans and like quinoa, grains. And I was like, all right, I like quinoa. I'll eat that. So I've been, working pretty hard. I learned how to make steamed vegetables. Well, I knew how to make steamed vegetables in the microwave, but I learned how to do it. I learned how to do like more of them. It's all the same, but I never really made stuff. And I learned how to make chicken breasts, chicken breasts for myself. So I cook up those at the beginning of the week, and I just eat it over the week. And I ordered an immersion blender, which if anyone had ever told me I would ever own an immersion blender that belonged to me, I would think that was very weird.
Just in case anyone doesn't know, because I wasn't thinking that it's one of those handheld.
It's a handheld blender that you do this, and it came with a whisk.
When I was thinking blender, I was thinking like a blender.
Things?
Yeah, like a smoothie blender.
Yeah, it's a handheld blender. It comes with a smoothie cup, so you can use it to make smoothies. But since I already have a Nutri Ninja, I don't really need that. And it comes with a chopper cup and a chopper blade.
Oh, all right. And
you can put like nuts, or they've said graham crackers to make graham cracker, or anything that's like harder, and you put it in that and put the chopper blade on, and it covers it up so it can't shoot out. Right. And you can chop things in that. But I just use it to like blend and puree stuff. So I made up my own recipe. My mom has a recipe that she uses for a cauliflower puree, and I made up my own version of that involves Greek yogurt instead of sour cream, and doesn't have butter, and and I've tried a couple of different seasonings with it. Cauliflower is a great base for seasonings. It's kind of like potato. It's very bland, so you can really add any flavors you want to it, and it tastes good. So I've been working pretty hard, and I usually have between 7 and 8 servings of fruit and vegetable a day.
That's great.
And I'm going to just say this. This is probably TMI for you, but if you eat a lot of fruit and vegetable, you will poop all day long. So if you were having issues with that, this is a good diet for you. I feel like a monkey. I'm just eating fruit and veg all day.
That's funny.
But that is the plan for now. And I'm trying new stuff. I make a hot breakfast and a hot lunch for myself every day. Good. And I bought some lentil soup to try. I don't know if I'm going to like lentil soup, but I'm going to try it.
Try it anyway.
And this week alone, I've had butternut squash, summer squash, zucchini, cauliflower, and broccoli and carrots. That's a lot of different vegetables. I try to mix it up. Like, I try to do a couple of vegetables with each thing. And that's all in 1 week. So, yeah, that's the deal. And we'll see how this works out. And I'll keep you posted. But I'll tell you one thing. Being hungry is not a problem on this diet. And I still have never gone over my... I try to keep below 1,500 calories a day. I've never even come close to that.
Really?
Because vegetables
are very low calorie.
You have to eat a lot of vegetables to get a lot of calories. And when you eat a lot of vegetables with every meal, it kind of fills you up so that you're not eating really high calorie stuff. Maybe that was her master plan, but... So, anyway. So that was good. That was my my whole week has pretty much been a crush because I feel like, I'm getting these skills to make stuff so that I am moving away from pre-prepared stuff. I'm totally in love with scrambled eggs and avocado on whole wheat toast. That is my breakfast every day, and I am totally in love with it. So if you have never had scrambled eggs and avocado on a piece of whole wheat toast, put it all in. Put your egg on, fold it in half like a breakfast sandwich. It's very good. And I'm allowed to eat whole grains, so I eat 1 piece of bread a day.
That's good.
And this is my favorite part. So I'm given this plan. I immediately lost it. I can't find what I did with it. I remember the times and everything. And I remember what I'm supposed to do because we had like an hour-long appointment about it, but I don't actually have the thing that she gave me anymore. But so I'm like... I'm probably going to get in trouble the next time I see her.
Well, if you see her, ask for another copy.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm doing pretty well. I record everything on my phone. She'll tell me if I'm doing anything wrong. We went over my food the last time I met with her, and she just said, where you're having the popcorn, you could do this. Because I would have popcorn as a snack. And I'll tell you what, I still do sometimes. If I crave salty and crunchy, I have popcorn. But I try to satisfy with vegetables first. I'm going to turn into a vegetarian. I don't want to be a vegetarian. I'm just telling you that. I'm sorry if you are one, but I like meat. I'm a fan of meat.
Yeah.
They're never going to let me give up meat.
No.
I'm never going to do that. I'm eating meat, man.
I don't think they're trying to make you.
No. I think this lady thinks everyone should be a vegetarian, so she's hoping that she can convert me into a vegetarian, but I don't think the plan says I can eat any proteins. It doesn't say. If I could find it, I could prove it, but I don't know. I might have thrown it away when I came home from the hospital. I don't know. So anyway, it'll turn up, or I'll get another one. I could email her and ask for one, but I just don't. So anyway, that's it for me. But that's a crush that I'm learning some survival skills. Like now I could make my kids a chicken breast and steamed vegetables for dinner. And they could have a hot meal from me because I know how to do that now.
There you go.
So that's pretty good for me. It's all easy stuff too. I'm not trying to do anything fancy. If there's too many steps, it's just a problem. But when it's like, put it in the pan, put the lid on it, and walk away for 20 minutes, that I can do. Or put it in the microwave for 2 minutes with water and a little like sheet of plastic over the top. I can do that. And then I just get creative with spices.
That's my biggest thing. Like, to try and get creative with spices and stuff. Yesterday I was making chicken cutlets, and I didn't have any breadcrumbs, so I had panko.
I love panko.
And so I'm like, all right, so how do I season this? I put Parmesan cheese in it. I put a little bit of red pepper flakes, which my kids actually loved. Garlic salt, onion salt, or powder, or whatever it is. And what else? I think there was some other things I just kind of threw in there. Damn, it was good.
Well, I'll tell you something. Having been a heart failure patient, I became a huge fan of Mrs. Dash. Mrs. Dash makes a ton of really good spice blends. It's like spice blends for idiots, like people who don't cook and know how flavors go together. So I'm like, every time I go to the store, I'm like, what does Mrs. Dash have? It sounds good to me. And I'll put that on. So it's, I'm learning that there are a lot of things I can do that.
You just got to experiment. Okay, so this time you realize those two things don't really go together, or you don't like them.
Yeah.
Don't do it again.
But I just, because I would never know to pick out individual spices. But I have like a Mexican spice mix. I put that on stuff. I have flavors of India spice mix. I put that on. I have Italian spice mix. And that's working out pretty well for me because it's basically no knowledge involved.
Right, and this the panko, I don't know if anyone's ever tried it, gives it a crispier crust. It's really
like really pointy bread. Panko is like pointy, sharp.
It's supposed to be better for you than regular bread.
Oh, we only use panko. We've been using panko since the 90s when Jim first heard about it. We used to get it from the Japanese store in Porter Square in the basement of that building where they had...
Yeah, I think I'll probably be doing this again. I had leftover breadcrumbs that I saved and put in the fridge because we do it enough that it's not going to go bad. And I had breast. The only downfall on it is I was lazy and I didn't pound out.
Oh, the breasts.
So they weren't as tender as they could have been. And I'm like, all right, that's my fault. But I also, I had some chicken legs that we had that I put
Panko's good.
on. It was good.
So I think that's it for Crushes and Heartbreaks. Gossip and Innuendo. There's really nothing going on until April, when I think it kicks off with the Connecticut Sheep and Wool. And I don't know if I'm going to that or not. I don't know. If you want to go.
We just need to find out when.
When it is. Diane said Kelly might be busy. She might come with us too.
What is it, Connecticut Sheep and Wool? That's...
Look on our website.
Oh, okay, we've gone to that.
We go to that one.
Look on our website. Is that where?
Look on our website. It's on the It's on the show notes.
Okay.
April 30th. That's the first thing coming out. Oh, you have to work.
It's a good thing about having everything on work. I work every third weekend, and I can customize it that it shows up every third weekend.
That's what I do on my phone.
Oh my God. I tell you, it's a lifesaver.
Does your husband have an iPhone now?
He does, but we don't link.
Oh, we linked our calendars.
How do you link your calendar?
All you have to do is go into the, in case anyone's wondering about this, if you go into the calendar settings, so like if you go here.
Mail and contacts?
And then you add accounts that you want it to.
Yeah, but
mail contacts and see add accounts.
So the thing is, though, is I think he uses everybody uses my iCloud, my iTunes account. So it might actually show up on his already.
But you have to like tell it to show up on yours.
Okay.
Go into those settings and do it, because when you look at mine, you can see I have all these accounts.
Yeah,
but anyway, yeah, useful
have fun
tool.
with it.
Useful tool. Also, if you just updated your iPhone now,
it's
at night, instead of having the blue light that keeps you awake, it has warm light that makes you tired, so you can read on your iPhone before you go to sleep.
Yeah, I just uploaded those today, so I haven't tried them yet. I have mine automatically set to start at 10. Yeah. I may change it because I go to bed typically 8:30 or 9.
So anyway, that's a lot of weird advice for everybody.
Do with it what you will. If you lasted this long, thank you.
Yeah. We'll see you next week.
Get with heart.
Bye.